Babakio has committed war crimes. He is wanted by the UN. How can you have dialogue? There cannot be dialogue with a person who has committed war crimes because that will be unethical. That will be someone committing a very huge offense by yourself going to have a dialogue with someone who has committed a lot of atrocities against people. So there is no kind of dialogue that can be made with someone like Babakio. He is tired of going to funerals, of police funerals. He's tired of every time going to the hospital to see police officers who have been injured and have been killed. What some people are seeing in Babakio is what we can call some kind of a Robin Hood, but not exactly Robin, because Robin Hood was fighting for the right thing. We don't understand what Babakio is fighting for. We don't understand why Babakio needs a gun against his own citizens, his own fellow citizens, so that he can pass his message across. So there are some people who will love him because they don't have any other option. They live just in the neighborhood where he is, and that person is wielding a gun. Do you really have an option of not smiling at that person? Because if you don't smile at them, they might shoot you. He wants power. At the end of the day, he wants to govern Haiti, but he's doing it in the wrong way because that is not the way to go. He doesn't have a police force. He doesn't have an army that he can orchestrate a coup. So what does he have? He has little boys. Hello guys, welcome to yet another great session, and today we are landing our plane in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Jeff.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I know it's been long before we do an episode
it's been a while,
about Haiti.
Yes.
What is happening in Haiti currently?
Well, our forces are moving in. They are starting to move in critical areas that people are saying that they are not seeing them in those areas, like Delmas. Our Kenyan forces have started moving in Delmas, and to everyone's knowledge, Delmas is the place where Babakio himself is, Delmas 6 to be specific. And some of the reports that we're getting from that incursion now to Delmas is that a lot of people have moved from these areas. Now what is remaining are the gangs and the gang leaders. So it is very easy for the Kenyan police to move in such areas like Delmas and counter the gangs that exist there. We know that Babakio is in Delmas 6. We know that a lot of gangs are in Delmas area. People who are in Kenya, Delmas is akin to Madare. Yeah? If you know the situation or how expansive Madare is, that is seemingly how Delmas is. The reports we are getting there is that a lot of this is happening in the city, but just a few is happening outside the city. But our Kenyan forces are looking at all sides, even those which are not happening, even the ones that are happening at the border between the Dominican Republic and Haiti. They are situated in these different areas to make sure that they counter the gangs that they're supposed to counter them.
Okay, thank you so much, Bonnie. You know very well that even if the Kenya police are moving to Delmas, yes, you know last week Babakio came in and said that he wants a dialogue, yes, with the Prime Minister, and he also said that he will not attack the Kenya police. They are like his brothers. What is going to happen in that? Right now, the Kenya police have started moving where Babakio is living. That means that they want to hunt Babakio down.
What is happening is that they are engaging our police officers in guerrilla warfare. They are shooting and running because this is urban warfare. They are trying as much as possible to attack and hide. So that is what is happening, but they don't have the kind of firepower that our forces are having and that they are going to have, because a lot of supplies now have been sent to Haiti. They have gotten reinforcement, and by the way, soon enough they are getting air support, and that was what was lacking. So they're going to get even air support, and I think they're not going. They will not. These gangs will not defeat the Kenyan forces, the MSS forces that are in Haiti.
That means that the Kenya police are not ready for the dialogue, because it's very hard to have a dialogue with someone who has killed so many people.
Yeah, Babakio has committed war crimes. He is wanted by the UN. How can you have dialogue? There cannot be dialogue with a person who has committed war crimes because that will be unethical. That will be someone committing a very huge offense by yourself going to have a dialogue with someone who has committed a lot of atrocities against people. So there is no kind of dialogue that can be made with someone like Barbecue.
This is true. I think Barbecue is in fear because the first time he said that he want a dialogue with the Prime Minister.
Yes.
He came back again and said that he cannot attack the Kenya police. They are like his brother.
Yeah.
This is one thing that is telling us that Barbecue has started fearing the Kenya police.
Exactly.
Why would Barbecue just say that I've surrendered, I've decided to go to the prison? Why is it hard for Barbecue to accept?
Well, there are a lot of reasons because one, we have to understand that it is not only Barbecue that is calling the shots. There are a lot of entities in Haiti that are mixed in this. So there are powers even beyond Barbecue to some extent of oligarchs that are calling the shots. There are very rich businessmen in Haiti and outside the country that are involved in this. And these are the names that are not being mentioned. And these are the important names that now should start being mentioned beyond Barbecue. Those are the people who are financing everything that is happening in Haiti. So Barbecue, the likes of Barbecue and other leaders are just there to do what they are told. Yeah, they are not really the people making the call on this. So those people who are really involved in this, those rich men, they are the ones who are pushing them towards the end. Yeah, and that is why you're finding that it is hard for them to really come out and surrender. And by the way, Barbecue does not have the luxury to do anything else. He sees as if fighting is the only way out. And that is the problem that now he's finding himself in, because he has committed a lot of atrocities against the society that he doesn't seemingly have any other way out. I like to compare it to what the drug lord from Colombia, Pablo Escobar. Yes, usually the story of Pablo Escobar is just almost similar to what we are seeing here, because Pablo didn't have any other way out. The only thing he did was to create some sort of a prison where he said that he should be jailed here and have all these luxury, and it didn't work. It didn't work at the end of the day. So I think the best way will be for him to surrender, but if he fails to surrender, there is the only other way out, that is, you know.
Let's go back to the Kenya police. You know very well that there was a report or rumor going around that the Kenya police were not paid for 3 months, yet they were in Haiti. What is happening? And yesterday, they say that the Kenya police earn 295,000 a month.
I don't have the fine copy of that, but it can be true that that money has not yet been remitted, but that money will be remitted.
Like what the ambassador said, the US ambassador said.
Yes, that money will be remitted, of course. There is no any foreign mission in Kenya that has ever happened and that people have been failed to be paid. True. Yeah, that has never happened.
Like the Congo, they were paid.
Congo, Eritrea, Somalia, everywhere you will have to be paid. So that is guaranteed that our men in uniform will be paid, and I'm sure they've been explained why that process is taking some bit of time, and they understand. So far, I believe they understand and they are in sync with what is happening, and they have high morale of really going there and making it work.
Yeah, yes. I think it's going to work. Barbecue need to surrender. Yes. Barbecue needs to put the weapons down so that we can trust him. That is really meaning his words that he wants dialogue. It's really meaning his words that he wants to give up in fighting. He wants to bring the Kenya police together. So he needs to put the guns down, all the weapons down, so that we can trust him. That's what I can say about Barbecue as you are finishing. What about the Haiti Prime Minister? Why is the guy silent?
Gary Conal, I think, is the best person that Haiti had right now. Beyond the MSS forces, beyond the deals that the MSS forces made with the Haitian National Police and the USA and all the supporters of the MSS forces.
Can you say about Gary Conal?
Well, Gary Conal is at the center of everything that is happening in Haiti and everything that needs to work right. He is the right person at the right time to bring the unity, first of all, of Haitians together, to bring the Haitian National Police to have one mission and to now harmonize that with the MSS forces, and further to bring the international community to have the attention of what is happening in Haiti. He has a lot of tasks, and the other day he was in media saying that he is tired of going to funerals, of police funerals. He's tired of every time going to the hospital to see police officers who have been injured and have been killed by the gangs. So he's the person that is very fundamental to make sure that this mission works, because he seems to be focused. He seems to be very focused. He seems to be very passionate about what he's doing, and his task seems to align with the personality that he has, that he's just a passionate person that wants to see his country back on his feet. So Gary Conal is the right person for the job, and I believe so far he's doing the right job for Haiti.
That's true. I think this guy is the right person, as you have said, because he has Haiti in his heart.
Yes.
That is the reason why he's ready to fight for the people in Haiti.
Yes.
Like what the residents of Haiti usually say, they don't want to see barbecue on the street. I think there are some people that love barbecue and there's some people that hate barbecue.
Yeah.
What can you say about that? This a gang being loved. This a gang leader. Also, people want him dead.
You know, there is a condition that someone has when you are kidnapped by a person. You end up loving that person because you are kidnapped and you cannot do anything else. I think what some people are seeing in barbecue is what we can call some kind of a Robin Hood, but it's not exactly Robin, because Robin Hood was fighting for the right thing. We don't understand what barbecue is fighting for. We don't understand why barbecue needs a gun against his own citizens, his own fellow citizens, so that he can pass his message across. So there are some people who will love him because they don't have any other option. They live just in the neighborhood where he is, and that person is wielding a gun. Do you really have an option of not smiling at that person? Because if you don't smile at them, they might shoot you. So they don't have an option. For those people who are living close to where he is, and because now he has blocked every route of any government assistance coming in, and he is the sole person now who controls that locality to make sure that everyone has goods, to make sure that everyone has the fundamental bricks of life. So it ends up to be like a person who has he is holding a lot before you, and a lot that has to go to you on your plate and everything. So if that person has that kind of a role, then they will just be loved. But that is not genuine love. That is not the love that someone will say that they support this person. That is not a way for someone to live. But of course, every dictator everywhere, for example, even Idi Amin had some people who loved him. If you look at anywhere, they had people
people still loves Gaddafi.
Yes,
up to now.
Yes. Yeah. They had people who loved them. So it is possible, and it is okay. But if you look at the methods that barbecue is using, that is fear. If you instill fear on people and then they end up loving you, that is not genuine love.
What does this guy want?
It is called Stockholm Syndrome. I remember.
What does this guy want? What is the main agenda of barbecue? Because people are confused. Even the Prime Minister doesn't know what this guy wants.
Barbecue,
what does he want?
It is conflicted, because at first he was supporting the government, that is Jovenel Moise. Then he changed stance to now be advocating for freedom, some kind of freedom that we don't understand. Right now, barbecue is having that political aura, wants to be the president or prime minister of Haiti. So at the end of the day, it's power. They say that men will die for power, women, and money. Now, barbecue
is about power and money. Women will come when you have money, and they will not stay when the money is gone.
So I think that is what is driving barbecue. He wants power. At the end of the day, he wants to govern Haiti, but he's doing it in the wrong way, because that is not the way to go. He doesn't have a police force. He doesn't have an army that he can orchestrate a coup. So what does he have? He has little boys, little children out there that can
They don't know to use a gun.
Yes, those are the ones who are given the guns, and they end up threatening people. They end up threatening the entire system that they want to take over. Yeah,
that's what I can say. As you are finishing, what can you say the last thing to barbecue and to the Prime Minister and to the Kenya police over there?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, and even to Kenyans, they should understand that it takes a lot of time for a mission to be completed and to be completed successfully. There is no hurry that these people have to go and orchestrate things and then cause a lot of casualties. You know, it is of no point for the Kenyan police officers to go there and then start spraying bullets at anyone just because they want a barbecue.
Yeah.
There is a way of how missions are supposed to be conducted. And this mission is wholesome. It is not just guns and bullets, as we've been discussing here. It's also about gaining the trust of people, gaining the trust of the Haitian National Police, gaining the trust of the entire nation, so that when that act of removing barbecue from the streets will be done, you'll still have a nation that is ready to go forward. So, because even if you eliminate barbecue today, someone else might take that gun and take that role. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it is a larger, much larger mission that will take time, and we have to accept the fact that it will take time. And our police have 12 months. They've only been there for 2 months. Yeah. They have 12 months to be there, and I'm sure they are going to make it right.
12 times 295. I think our police are doing an amazing job over there.
Yeah.
They have rescued so many things from Haiti.
Yeah.
So they went there. They have done an amazing thing. If it's becoming hard, they should just come back. Because they have already done amazing things over there.
They have.
And we really appreciate them. We pray for them so that everything can move on smoothly.
Yes.
That's what we pray.
Yes.
And we pray for peace in Haiti. They are like our brothers.
They are.
Yeah, it's true. That's where I agree with barbecue. They are like our brothers. When they talk, now it's not different. But looks, everything, we are like brothers.
Yeah.
Even if the Kenya police put out their uniform, you can never know that,
differentiate
this one is a black,
Kenyan,
this one is an Asian.
Yeah.
You can never know.
Yeah.
For us, we just pray for peace. And that's what we pray for.
Yes.
Peace, peace, peace. And let peace prevail. That's what we can say.
That's all we can say. And as well as say game
over.